Alright, so I put up this video about Mo Vlogs, Khalid Al Amri and Nas Daily. And I got this guy with a fake account saying, what did he say? 30,000 subscribers and only 700 views. And then the laughing emoji, ha ha ha. So, okay. Now, good, I'll tell you, it's bang on. Okay? It's a worthwhile criticism. Now, the question is not about why do I have 30,000 followers, or why so less engagement, or they are fake. No, I'm not going to justify anything. It is what it is. Okay? However, what I want to address in this video is, why do I not delete these critical comments? Why do I not delete when people make fun of me or point out my drawbacks, or hey, this nothing and nobody is walking without a shirt, penniless in Samui, and begging for business, and why is it that I don't delete all this? Okay. Number one is, okay, the common thing is, yeah, I can justify by saying a barking dog seldom bite, or not barking dog seldom bite, that's not the right one. There are these feel-good statements like, if people are criticizing you, means you're doing something right. I'm not going to justify all this, but I'll tell you, if I criticize others, like I criticize Mo Vlogs, I criticize Khalid Al Amri, I criticize whoever, I criticize even Shah Rukh Khan, these people who have achieved the impossible, people who are the greatest. In fact, we all do it. We criticize Narendra Modi, we criticize Obama, we criticize Donald Trump, people who have achieved incredible greatness. Now, if we can criticize all of them, shouldn't we be criticized ourselves? Okay, and I'm just like what, 0.00001% of them. So shouldn't I be criticized? Okay. The next one is, it keeps you grounded. It makes you know the realities of life. Because we like to live in a world, a bubble world, where everyone's praising us or everyone's appreciating us. Like, we become a generation of people who are seeking approval and likes and positive comments. For example, why do you think girls take 20, 30 photographs and then choose a photograph that looks amazing and then put a filter, then do all the editing, make it look perfect, make it so glossy, make it so bright, lighten their skin, they end up looking like 20 years younger. They look like some supermodel, and then they post this with big eyes and all. I literally know females who, if you see them, you will think that is your aunt, She looks horrible. I know a female, she looks really horrible. But if you see her photographs on Facebook and Instagram, I'm telling you this, you will want to date her. I even know a girl who is 160 plus kilos. 160 plus kilos, 5'7" or 5'8". She's big, really fucking big. Her photographs on Facebook and Instagram make her look like she is half the size. I don't know how the fuck she does that. She's very slim. There are applications to make your eyes big. There are applications to make your skin smooth. There are even apps, Japanese apps, and even Thailand has apps where they make your skin brighter, because dark skin is a sign that you belong to a lower class. White skin is you are upper class. They consider white beautiful, black ugly. Okay? Even in textbooks here in Thailand, a white guy, I wish I could get that. A white guy is called handsome. A dark guy is considered ugly. It's actually written there, huh? I'll try to I'll see if I can dig it out, or you can just Google search. It's in Thai textbooks. And this is not because they're racist. This is how people were brought up. Because like for example, the monarchy, the kings, they were not working in the fields. So they were white, light skin. But the people working in the fields, they are dark skin. So that's why everyone likes white. And this fair and lovely in India and all that. So the point I was trying to tell you is people, especially women, they post these photographs where they look beautiful. Why? Because they don't want to be criticized. They don't want to be made fun of. They don't want to be compared. Oh, you look so fucking ugly. They want to hear good things. Why do you think girls show their cleavage, their ass, slim waist? And it's not just girls. Why do you think guys show, pumping in the gym, and then they enhance the size of their bicep? They show their arms, they show their chest, shoulders. Why do you think some people show expensive cars, posing near expensive cars and houses? Why? Because we like to be appreciated. We like approval. We like praise. Nobody wants to be criticized. Nobody wants to be made fun of. Why do you think we call them keyboard warriors? Because they hide. They don't want anyone to look at them and criticize them. They want, I can criticize you, don't criticize me. They can't handle it. I openly challenge you. Let these guys show their real identity. They'll never do that. So now, why I don't keep it in? It's not because I'm trying to show, I'm a great guy, I'm very mature. No. Keeps me grounded. It's reality. I have 30,000 subscribers. I get only sometimes even 100 views, 200 views I get per video. Now, what can I do? The videos are not interesting enough. People find it boring. My content is not that great. In fact, if you check Daily Dose of Internet, here, that guy, here's your Daily Dose of Internet, very catchy voice. I mean, the guy posts a video in 1 minute. I'm not even joking. 1 minute that he posts a video, I just saw 1 minute and it showed 0 views. When I clicked on the fucking video, it showed 70,000 views. Imagine in 1 minute, 70,000 views. I just clicked. 70,000, not in 1 minute. It must have been like, 10 seconds, 20 seconds? And in 1 hour, he'll go up to fucking 1 million views. And by the time 24 hours have passed, it's at 18 million views, or 25 million views, or 27 million views. The guy must be making roughly, $20,000, $30,000 per video. So, well, when you compare him to me, of course, I'm nothing. I'm absolutely zero. A guy making $20,000, $30,000 per video, and I'm making $5? So that is the reality. So if someone says, hey, you're fucking poor, you're not rich, you're an ordinary guy, that's the truth. That's the truth. Some people say, you have nothing else apart from your looks, your tattoos. What else is there? You're true, you're right. For some people, when they see this, that's the only thing I have. Everything else is what everyone else has. Knowledge, everyone else has. Ability to speak, everyone else has. See, that way if we compare ourselves, there's always someone better than us. There always will be. To be best in the world is a very rare phenomenon. How many Elon Musk is there? Only one. And see, last one is, we should not hide from reality. Sometimes they say truth hurts, no? For me, when someone says only 700 or 300 views, good. That pushes me to, okay, I have 300 views, what can I do to get 400 views? What can I do to get 500 views? And every single day, I post at least 2-3 videos. Every single day, I come up with a new topic. Every single day, I upload another video. Yes, it'll be 100 views, 200 views, 300 views, even 50 views, no problem. I'll still not stop because that's what I love to do. And but here, let me share one important thing with you. One very important thing. I don't get angry or upset with these comments, but there are some which do make me angry. There are some comments which do make me angry, and I'll tell you about them. And they are the ones that really trigger me. And I'll give you an example. I'll give you an incident. One day, I was with my small little baby girl. Okay, we went to the shopping mall. And there was this, play area for the small children. You must have seen those videos. My baby goes to play in the children's area. So when she went there, this lady stopped her. My baby went running with enthusiasm and happiness, and this lady stopped her and asked, and my baby just got startled. And my little one doesn't know how to talk. She said ABC, ABC. She says like. So this lady said, I asked my wife, what's wrong? So this lady told my wife, it's time to close. It was like 4 o'clock. We came after 4. They closed by 5. So 4 to 5, they kind of disinfect the whole area and they close the whole area. So she didn't, I understood that. She cannot allow the baby to come in. Now, I had to carry my baby, and my baby was like, I want to go, and she wanted to go and play and all that. And because this lady said no, she was still, she was like trying to go there. And then she started to cry, and she was sobbing like a small little baby. I held my baby, and she was crying, because she wanted to go and play. And it kind of hurt me. It kind of made me angry. Angry because my little one wanted to play, and she could not. And it was not that lady's fault, it was my fault. My fault that I came late. So, I took my baby and eventually managed to, babies forget. So I bought her a juice and I bought her an ice cream, and she forgot all about it. But I didn't forget about it. So we came back home, and my wife and this thing, they were just busy. But I didn't forget about it. So obviously, I can't just next day get up and go. I have work also. So next day what I decided is I would finish all my work, whatever I have. I finish all the extra work. And I even inform clients, tomorrow I'm there. Day after tomorrow, I'll be busy. So I made sure that I completed all the work, even for the after tomorrow, and some cases I postponed. And then finally, the day after tomorrow, I told my wife, we are going early to the same place. And she said, why? I said, because baby didn't get to play. She cried, her heart was broken. So we are going to go there. So just make a list, whatever shopping we want, so we'll leave her there. So we went the day after tomorrow, the day after, that particular day. And when we went there, once again, my baby was happy. She went running. This time the lady let my baby come in, and my baby went to play. And we stayed there. I sat and I read a book, and we were doing our shopping. We waited there. My baby literally played for, I think, 3 to 4 hours. Oof. She has so much energy. And then she came in between, she came out, and she drinks my wife's breast milk, and she ate a little bit of food. Again, she went to play. She played, and finally, after, I think, 4 hours, she came out. She was exhausted, you could make out. She held my wife, and she went to sleep. And then we drove back home. And so for me, I achieved something that was bothering me. These are the things that piss me off and hurt me. Not these comments. Like, for example, when I wanted to eat food once in my relative's house. And those days, shrimps, shrimp prawns. So they were making it in the kitchen. I was so happy because I loved shrimps. I ran into the kitchen, to eat the shrimps. And the minute they saw me go in the kitchen, my relative shouted, "Hey, you, oh my God, that guy is gone in the kitchen. He'll eat everything. Keep that prawns away from him." You know, I had that prawn, like shrimp, literally near my mouth. You know, the Indian style spicy one. I put it back because I felt so offended. So I didn't eat. I left it. So that reminded me, and I worked in my life so that if I wanted to eat any food, any restaurant, I could just spend the money. That's why, you know, I went to Burj Al Arab and all that. Even books. I always wanted to read books. My parents would never allow me to read books. They would grab it away from me and say, you know, go read something, go read your school books. Like, you know, these books, Tell Me Why, Tell Me How, Tinkle. In India, you have this book, Tinkle and Twinkle or something, and Amar Chitra Katha. When I would ask them, I want to buy these books, they would say no money. You know, DC and Marvel, you know, bodybuilding books. They would never let me buy them. Even self-improvement books, they would always tell me no money. So when I grew up, became my own man, I literally every month used to allocate part of my salary to buy books. I even took multiple bank loans to buy books. When someone told me, he is poor, and they all laughed at me, and you know, they didn't want to treat me with respect. That's what pushed me. So yeah, anyway, without getting too emotional, the things that hurt me, or the things which were right, which were true. I was greedy about eating shrimps. I was poor. I wanted to buy books, but I didn't have the money. So, you know, these insults or these realities which are there, I lock them up inside. I lock them up inside, and they drive me. They motivate me. They put this fire up my ass, you know, which I need. Like, for example, this guy who said 30,000 subscribers and only 700 views. He's right. Absolutely bang on. Kudos to you. Because these kind of comments will push me to want to work hard to make better videos, to make more videos, to target more subscribers. Because everyone would keep praising you. Hey man, you're amazing, you're great, you're this, you're that. Who the fuck cares? You become complacent. You don't want to change, you don't want to improve, you don't want nothing. You just become stupid, you know. But when someone makes fun of you, hey doggy, when someone makes fun of you, when someone mocks you, when someone insults you, and when it burns your ass, yes doggy, when it burns your ass, no, it'll help you become better. Now with these comments, it doesn't mean much, because there'll always be, even if I get, let's say 7,000 views tomorrow, they'll say, what the fuck man, Mr. Beast has 70 million views. There'll always be someone better than me, there'll always be someone bigger than me. So the point is not to focus on things that don't matter. These views, and what matters to me is my career, my work, making money, taking care of my family, my health. Ego and all that you have to keep it outside. So anyway, this is what I wanted to tell you. So please, I encourage you to criticize. You must criticize bad ideas. You must criticize people. You must criticize individuals. And feel free to criticize me, because the more you do that, the more it'll make me aware of what is right, what is not right. Now, that doesn't mean every criticism I'm going to take seriously, nor does it mean anyone who gives me unsolicited advice, I'm going to take it to heart. Like, for example, people have even sent me emails that I should have been with my wife, I should spend time, I'm just too focused on money, I should have been there holding my wife's hand or being with the mother-in-law. And yeah, it sounds all nice. Some people even send me messages like, oh, your wife must be thinking, why did I marry this man? Just imagine the father-in-law must have been thinking, oh, if my daughter had married a Thai man, he would have at least been there with the family. All this sounds very nice, just that you don't know the real story. My wife had already married a Thai man twice. Both the times who abused her, beat her violently, and told her she looked shit, and compared her to others, and didn't even show her face on social media because they were ashamed of her. They literally they threatened to kill the family. So this is getting married to, since this person who sent the email said, oh, they must have been thinking, shit, if they married a Thai person, better. You're right. Maybe if they married a Thai person, he would have gone and participated in this funeral, because it's their culture, it's their tradition. But for me, it's not part of my culture, my tradition. I have bills to pay, man. For a Thai person, doesn't have to pay for a visa, doesn't have to pay for a business license, doesn't have to pay for taxes and all these things. I have. And my wife is not working. I'm taking care of her. My baby, I need to take care of her. I'm given them a very good life compared to being a farmer staying in a village, working for close to $100-200 a month. She literally gets the same every day. It's very easy to talk, So yeah, anyway, criticism which is worth, please feel free. And any kind of criticism, send it. Any kind of advice, feel free to let me know. But the point I'm trying to make here is, I'm not going to take each and every criticism seriously, but I would definitely read it. And in terms of advice, feel free, because maybe out of, let's say, 100 pieces of advice, maybe one can be a game changer. And there are people who have given me advice that at first I didn't agree, and I was like, this is bullshit. But then eventually I realized, oh, these are words of wisdom. Like example, when I was told to save money, I was to laugh, no, live life to the fullest. I was told to invest in a house, I didn't. I was told to migrate to Canada, I didn't bother. I should have studied, but I didn't. So these are some of the things which people gave advice, but I didn't listen, but eventually realized what they said is true. So in the same way, please feel free to criticize, give me your advice, but always remember that one is, I may or may not take it, and two, it's easy to talk about others, harder to talk about yourself. Which is why I accept whatever you want to say, and that's why I never delete any of the bad comments. Unless, of course, it is spammy or just plain bullshit. Alright, you guys take care, let me know your thoughts. This is me signing off.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying, or by magic, through others, or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Macedo is the best.